What if we not only got our students to pray for their peers and their schools, but we got the entire church, and not just your church, but the entire church praying for teenagers, for schools, for juvenile facilities, and for God to work in the next generation? On this episode of Student Ministry Connection, I'm wondering, what if all these different movements of prayer that are happening in all these different ministries all came together as a symphony? Let's get ready to connect and grow. Welcome to Student Ministry Connection. My name is Steve Cullum. In addition to serving in student ministry since around 1999, I'm also a missionary on staff with National Network of Youth Ministries. Prayer is such an important aspect of our walk with Jesus, and I'm sure we would all agree with that. But it's also incredibly important in our efforts to reach everyone with the gospel. I know I've had my own ups and downs with prayer over the years, and I'm sure I'm not alone. But lately, I've been trying to pray more and ask others to join me in praying, and I've seen God do some incredible things, and many times within even 24 to 48 hours of praying. If you haven't listened to our last episode on prayer with Aubrey Kimbrough, be sure to go do that, either right now or right after you finish this episode. And as a follow-up to that episode, I wanted to share something really cool with you that NNYM has been doing for the last few years in collaboration with several other ministry organizations. We call it Symphony of Prayer. Maybe you've noticed, but there's several different calls to prayer out there right now, especially for schools. NNYM has our own, and so does this podcast. By the way, if you want to join us in praying for revival, especially among the next generation, we've been stopping to pray from wherever we are every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Pacific Time, 12 p.m. Mountain Time, 1 p.m. Central Time, and 2 p.m. Eastern Time. You can check out episode 101 to learn more. But with all these great but different movements of prayer, NNYM began to dream, what would it mean to bring them together into one big symphony of prayer? It all starts with NNYM's prayer initiative called Footprints on Campus. This happens on the second week of August every year, right around where most schools are starting their fall semester in the United States. And this is all about organizing and mobilizing as many people as we can to pray on site for every school and juvenile facility across the country. You can learn more about Footprints on Campus at nnym.org/footprints. And of course, it doesn't stop there. We want every school also adopted so they can continue to get prayer throughout the year. And so if you haven't adopted your school, head over to everyschool.com to check out how you can adopt your school and how your church can adopt a school, how your youth group can adopt a school, and how your network can adopt a school. And then our partners at Moms in Prayer have a thing called Bless Our Schools Sunday. And this is when churches set aside a Sunday service time to pray for local schools. So not only are we getting out on the campus, but we're continuing to pray in our churches. So check out momsinprayer.org to learn more about Bless Our Schools Sunday and how your church can participate. And then many of you know that the fourth Wednesday in September is See You at the Pole. This is a student-led prayer event at schools across the country and around the world. And if you or your students have never done See You at the Pole, head over to syatp.com to learn more, but also to check out all of their amazing resources that will help you set up your youth group for success. If you want to learn even more about See You at the Pole, check out episode 166, where I talk with Rick Eubanks about the history of See You at the Pole and how it all began. Throughout the month of September, Christian educators are mobilizing youth pastors and students to join them on Steps of Prayer, and these are educator-led prayer walks at schools. You can learn more, but also log your prayer steps at christianeducators.org. Claim Your Campus also has 2 dates in September where they're encouraging student-led prayer walks called the Prayer Walk Project. And this is all about equipping and mobilizing teenagers to pray for their schools. You can learn more at claimyourcampus.com. And then there are several other ongoing prayer initiatives as well. Operation Pray is all about organizing groups of prayer teams to continue to pray. You can learn more about them at operationpray.com. The Campus Alliance also has Pray 938, which is their virtual call for united, focused prayer for students and schools. You can learn more about that at everyschool.com/pray938. Youth Alive has their Prayer Zone partners, and this is all about mobilizing communities to pray every time they pass a school zone. To learn more about that, go to campusmissionary.com/leaders. And 9-Month Mission Trip has their Top 9 Prayer Challenge. And this is all about challenging students to pray intentionally for their friends at school by name. You can learn more about that at 9monthmissiontrip.com/prayer. Again, our goal is to elevate and highlight these different prayer initiatives so that everyone is praying for students, schools, teachers, administrators, and faculty. If we want God to move in the next generation, we have to commit to praying. And what if all these different movements of prayer came together as a symphony, with God as the conductor? And I know there are several others out there as well. So if your ministry has a prayer initiative, especially for students and schools, please contact me or NNYM so that we can talk about collaboration with you as well. You can learn more about this prayer symphony at nnym.org/symphony. And while you're there, be sure to download the Symphony of Prayer guide that outlines all these details and more. As we often say around NNYM, we are better together. So let's get out there and pray together for this next generation and get others to join us in praying. You know, not everyone is gifted to be a small group leader or a teacher, but everyone can pray. Please help us spread the word and get others on board. And one of the ways that you can do that is by sharing this podcast episode. And if you enjoy it, please leave a positive review wherever you're listening to it. And if you'd like to support this podcast and my ministry with NNYM, please go to nnym.org/Steve Cullum, or you can follow the link in the show notes or on studentministryconnection.com. And if you're looking to book a speaker for your next youth group, camp, or training, check out the Speaker Hub at youthmenhub.com/Speaker Hub. I have some really good conversations coming your way very soon, and I'm so excited for you to hear them. So be sure to subscribe so you do not miss them. And until next time, be sure to stay connected, and may God bless your ministry.